She called it junk. But it was my only chance at freedom. What happened next you don't want to miss. Lucas parked the trailer in front of his mother's house at exactly 5 p.m. Old chipped paint, and the inside smelled like musty wood. No, it wasn't a dream home, but it was his. Bought for $900 after months of saving tips and delivering food at night. He was proud. He wanted to show he could do things on his own. He had grown up. Is this it? Elaine, his mother, asked from the porch in her robe, like she was staring at a dead skunk. It's a camper, Mom. I'm gonna fix it up, hit the road. Be independent. She didn't say anything at first. Then came the laugh, that raspy chuckle she used when someone did something she considered beneath her. You spent almost $1,000 on this junk heap. Bravo. You could have given that to your sister. She's struggling with college. That hit hard. Lindsay, the golden girl. Smart, promising, and of course always in need. And him? Forever selfish. Even though for 3 years he cared for their father until the very end while Lindsay was too busy with her boyfriend in classes. I earned that money. Every cent. And I don't need permission, Lucas said, steadying his voice. She turned and walked into the house without another word. And something shifted. The next day she wasn't speaking to him. Just left a plate on the table. Buckwheat and dried chicken breast. Just like when he was a kid and misbehaved. Are you really mad about the trailer? I'm not mad. Just disappointed, she said, cold and clipped. I thought you'd grown up. This is growing up, he replied. Making my own decisions. She wasn't listening. A week of silence passed. Then he found the letter. Neatly folded on the kitchen table with Lucas written in her handwriting, the kind she used when delivering quiet insults wrapped in motherly concern. Lucas, I've revised the will. I think it's only fair that Lindsay gets everything. You've chosen your own path to be alone. I respect that. I hope you respect mine. He read it 4 times. First came the shock. Then anger. Then clarity. If she thought a $900 trailer was the full measure of him, she had no idea who she was dealing with. He folded the letter, put it in a drawer, walked out onto the porch and said out loud, All right. Let's play grown-up then. End of chapter. Hook. He thought the worst had passed. But the real battle had just begun. You won't believe what he does to take back control. When your mother shares everything with your sister, but not you, you realize you've been cut out for a reason. But they didn't know he was already digging into their little secret. Lucas, you home? Lindsay's voice rang through the hall, bright and casual, like nothing had happened. He didn't answer. He sat in the trailer with his coffee, listening to their voices from inside the house, laughing, sweet, theatrical. Probably discussing a purse. Or a gallery show. Or how Lucas ruined everything. He wasn't welcome there anymore. But then he saw her pull a folder off the table, the will. You reading it already? He said, stepping up to the porch sharp. Oh, hi, Lucas. Lindsay smiled tightly. No, Mom just wanted to talk about a few things. Formally? They were formally erasing him from the family? Look, you chose to live in a tin can. Don't make this a scene, she hissed later, out near the gate. I'm not making a scene. Just watching you bury me while I'm still breathing, he said calmly. Enjoy. That night he didn't sleep. He sat in the trailer, flipping through papers. Remembering conversations. His father. Old emails. Bits of memory started clicking into place like a puzzle. He opened his laptop and searched property records. Then his father's emails with the family lawyer. He didn't know why. Just, something felt off. Like his mother had rewritten the story long before the trailer ever showed up. And then he found it. Property transfer papers. Filed 3 months before his dad died. The signature crooked. Wrong. His father had been a numbers man. His signature was like a stamp. And this looked like someone trying to imitate it. Mom, what did you do? He whispered to the screen. 2 days later, Lucas called a private attorney. Mr. Burton. His father's old legal friend. See this? Burton pointed to the document. That's not his handwriting. No doubt. Lucas nodded. A fire lit inside him. Not rage, resolve. This wasn't about $900. Not even the will. This was about control. About his mother thinking no one would notice. That he was a fool. He took action. Step by step. Archives. Copies. Interviews. He recorded phone calls, Lindsay saying, "Mom always did things her way, even if it wasn't quite legal." He saved everything. Because the day was coming when it would all matter. In the meantime, he bought a second trailer. Bigger. And parked it right in front of her window. On the glass, he taped a sign. Not all rust is trash. Sometimes it's armor. Elaine came out. Saw it. Went pale. "You plan to live here now?" she snapped. "I live where people don't lie to my face," he said. "Don't worry, Mom. You like formality, right?" End of chapter. Hook. He knew she forged the signature. But why? And what was Lindsay hiding? Answers were coming, just not the ones they expected. They thought he'd back down. Instead, he took them to court. But what he found in his father's phone changed everything. Documents were ready. Testimonies. Recordings. Neatly sorted. Lucas held them like a weapon because that's what they were. "You're suing us?" Lindsay exploded when she got the lawyer's letter. "Mom? Not US. Just the ones who forged my father's will," Lucas said flatly. Elaine sat in silence, wrapped in a blanket like she'd already been sentenced. "This is petty, Lucas. You're just hurt. You want revenge," she said in a soft, almost motherly tone. "And you're fine living with yourself knowing you erased me over an old camper?" he shot back. Calm. Sharp. The lawyer confirmed the forgery. Neighbors testified they saw Elaine alone at the notary's office. Documents said she came with her sick husband. But the bomb was in his father's old phone. Forgotten in a drawer, barely alive, it turned on. One audio note. "If you're hearing this, I can't say it in person anymore. Breathing is hard. I wanted Lucas to have the house. He earned it. He was here. He's real. But Elaine, she disagrees. Says Lindsay is the future of this family. But I know better. Too well. Lucas, I'm sorry if I didn't fix it in time. Just know, I'm on your side." He played it 20 times. Shaking. Silent. In court, the judge listened. Then silence. "The voice is authentic," said the expert. Elaine looked like she'd aged 10 years. "Why didn't you tell us about this recording?" the judge asked. "I didn't know," she whispered. "He recorded it in your bedroom, 3 days before he died." She went pale. Then muttered. "He wasn't always himself. And you? Were you?" After court, Lindsay caught him in the parking lot. "I didn't know. Mom said Dad wanted it split." I believed her. "I believe you," Lucas said. "But you never questioned her. Even when I was living in a trailer. Even when you two were having dinner and I got nothing." She looked down. Tears welled up. Back at the trailer, he looked out the window. Saw his mother behind the curtain. And realized he didn't want revenge. He wanted peace. But first he'd end the war. End of chapter. Hook. He thought the court would bring closure. But the next blow came from somewhere else, and what he found in that notebook would shatter them all. When truth surfaces, someone always drowns. He thought he exposed her, but he wasn't ready for what he'd find in his father's old notebook. A month after court, the house remained in limbo. Elaine went quiet. Lindsay stopped calling. Life pretended nothing had happened. But Lucas couldn't let go of that voice memo. He went through his father's old things. One last box marked taxes. Inside, an old leather notebook. He flipped through spreadsheets, bills, until he hit a bookmark page. A single note. $900 transferred to Lucas's account. Do not tell Elaine. Let him think he earned it. He froze. The camper? He thought he saved every cent, worked nights. Counted it all. But his father had helped. Quietly. Secretly. Not to diminish him. But to lift him. To give him a shot. And Elaine, when she saw the trailer, thought he'd wasted everything. But in truth, his father had passed him the torch. The trailer wasn't trash. It was trust. And she never knew. He didn't tell Elaine. Or Lindsay. That truth was his. But he did something else. He parked the trailer in front of her house one last time and spray painted on the side. Dad knew. You didn't. That night she came out. Slowly. Read the words. Pale. From him, she asked, barely audible. Yes. You knew. Now I do. She sat down beside him. Not as a mother. As a person. I just wanted you to be like Lindsay. I was always like Dad, he said. And you hated that. The next morning she brought him a box. Dusty. From her closet. He left this for you. I didn't give it. I was angry. It has letters. One last recording. I'm sorry. He didn't say, I forgive you. He just took it. Sometimes ending a war is just lowering your weapon. End of chapter. Hook. She confessed. But can he let go? Or will the ghost follow him wherever he parks his life? The finale won't be what you expect. When a family falls apart, you choose, rebuild or walk away. He chose. But not the way they expected. And that's why it all made sense. Lucas read the letters. For hours. His father wrote things he never said out loud, how he felt small next to Elaine, how he worried for the kids, how he hoped one of them wouldn't become convenient. Over and over one name, Lucas. You see more. You endure. You don't give up. That's everything I lacked. Don't stop being you. Even if they don't choose you. It felt like a confession. A blessing. A goodbye. The next day Lucas packed. Not to run, to move forward. The trailer wasn't a shelter. It was a symbol. Not of escape, but choice. He drove back to his father's land. One last stop. Elaine stood on the porch. Tea in hand. Leaving? Yes. For long? I don't know. Pause. I rewrote the will. It's split now. He nodded. Not with thanks, with respect. Thanks. Though it doesn't matter anymore. She nodded. For once not in defiance. He drove. Fields. Silence. Behind him resentment, guilt, a sister who didn't ask, a mother who controlled. Ahead nothing. And everything. At a gas station, the old clerk saw the trailer and smiled. Yours. Yeah. Fix it yourself? Mostly. He didn't mention the $900. It didn't matter anymore. The man nodded. Good kid. You're clearly from a real family. Lucas smiled, the first real one in a long time. The sun was setting. Music played softly. The air smelled like dust and freedom. Behind him, lies, courtrooms, and old expectations. Ahead, only the road. And himself. Final line. Sometimes freedom costs $900. And a lifetime to understand why you bought it.